We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Tuesday, so that means it's day one of the 48 hours known as New Comic Book Day. Before we get into any of the good stuff coming out this week, check this out. So I'm joined as always by my PIC, my partner in crime, my main man with pots and pans, Ryan the Cosmic Campfire, aka the new guy. What is happening?
Man, I got nothing better than that to say, so I'm just going to say, hi.
Howdy-ho. What's going on, everybody? It's Tuesday. Like I said, that means it's part one of the 48 hours out of the week known as New Comic Book Day. So there's some stuff to talk about, some stuff I'm excited about. Then there's a lot of stuff that we don't even have to waste time talking about because I try to focus Tuesdays on looking at what's coming out that are keys for the week, a little bit of spec talk. And with this channel, most of the spec talk comes strictly from the storytelling angle of it all. And there are no keys coming out this week at all. Like I looked at the Key Collector app and every single book listed just says cool cover, basically. There's no first appearance, this, that, or the other. Detective Comics does have like the first origin backstory of that throwaway character Vile that's going on right now, but there's nothing. And Key Collector couldn't just say,
Whoa. Vile's pretty cool, man. I'm interested.
Yeah, but he's still a throwaway. He's not like he's the next Bane.
Oh, well, no. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But he's still cool.
Yeah, but I don't see why the Key Collector app, that tab for this week should have been empty. Shouldn't have had anything in it except Origin of Vile. But yet it's still completely full for the week. Look at this cover. Look at that cover. But this cover too, that cover.
Trying to push their business.
I think you want to have stuff in there, but the tab specifically is for keys of the week. And there's no key. There's one character has an origin, but hey, to each their own, whatever. But we do get the start of the Sinister War in Spider-Man. We get the finale to the Surge storyline in The Flash, which was spectacular. I have already read that. Oh my God. And for being set in a story that has divided the community, it's turned friends into enemies with Tom Taylor's run on Heroes in Crisis. You saw the response that Steve had after he read it. You know, me and him are on polar opposite sides of the fence with Heroes in Crisis, and he read that and he said, read of the week. First book he's read, read of the week. He's calling it now. It was absolutely amazing. Like
That's awesome.
I was planning on like burning through a few books, you know. I read that first because I wanted to see how that ended. I knew that was the finale, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna sit on my hands before I read anything else. I'm gonna let this simmer. So it was an amazing annual. This week's issue is a 2021 annual. You get no spoilers here today. We save all of that for Sundays, so don't worry about running off if you're afraid to have any stories ruined. It won't happen. But before we go any farther and I jibber jabber, let's say hey to some of the people in the chat. Freaky Louie is in the building.
Let's talk about Specs, baby.
Yeah, he hits that every week. Little do people know, it's just pretty much story specking around here. Mars, how's it going? How's it going? Let's see. What? I'm so early. I'll be back. Let me see if who's unboxing. Sorry about that. Yeah, we kicked it down the road a little bit. Apologies. Life happens.
Houston weather.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't live in the real time.
Yeah.
The weather.
That's it exactly. We saw it in Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least it all turned out well. TM Nerdy, what's going on? We got Flash 6792. Robert, I'm glad to hear some of that positive feedback going on with you right now. That was really cool. Definitely got you in our thoughts, brother. Boom, 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 boom. Wheelchair Superhero 87 up in the building. What is going on? We got the Cosmic Campfire in the chat. That guy. Ignacio is in the building. What is happening? How are you doing today? That guy. Let's see. Reminds me of Columbus and his shiny pebbles. Look at this. The rest relaxing has made it. That's a Spider-Man fan. Hey, new comics tomorrow. That's right. There's a Spider-Man fan right there. And the Sinister War #1 drops this week. So that's one that I'm actually thinking about taking a peek at, seeing if it's something that I might want to follow or not. I haven't looked, but I don't know who's writing it. I wonder who's writing it. It's not the regular ASM storyline. It's its own book. So I'm not sure if it's Nick Spencer or not.
I thought it was supposed to be like Nick Spencer's magnum opus.
Is there such a thing?
There's attempts at them.
I wouldn't know. I don't follow him. But I know Aggressively Relaxing has kind of been a sympathizer of Nick Spencer's run. He's enjoyed it.
Ouch.
What?
A sympathizer.
That's a good way to put it. He doesn't sit there and praise it to death, but he'll defend it,
Fair.
Yeah.
What's it called? Sinister War?
Yeah, if you look right above your head.
My head?
Yeah, on the computer. Yep, there it is, right there. You just looked at it.
Oh.
When you looked up,
I don't look at these backgrounds.
It looked perfect when you looked up.
Well, my first thought was I do have a Spider-Man book here, but I was like, how would he know?
Louis said it's more of his minimum opus.
Minimal.
But hopefully it's good. Definitely, I'm ready to at least hear about it and follow along with it, at least via other people. You know what I mean? I know that the comic vet will be reading it, and he's not overly harsh on Spider-Man at all. It's his favorite character, so he is kind of biased toward it. So if he says it's decent, I'll probably read it digitally just to see what's up with it. I'm craving Spider-Man, absolutely craving it. I tried to jump in at nonstop Spider-Man, and that was just hot garbage. And all we're getting are these little Chip Zdarsky minis, and as fun as they are, they're still disassociated from the actual Marvel universe. It's Elseworlds, it's What If. So as good as they are, it still doesn't necessarily fill that void. I want to keep up with Peter. I want to know what's going on in his day by day, and it's unfortunate that I'm just not pulled to it at the moment. But I'm hoping that will all change when we switch writers and creative teams, but we'll see.
Sinister War is Nick Spencer and Mark Bagley.
So Bagley coming back to the art, that's pretty cool. That's who was doing Spider-Man through the Ultimate universe. He had this thing where he wouldn't draw him in the same pose twice on the cover, so he's always in a very intentionally specific different pose, and that's pretty impressive for how many issues there were. But I guess he eventually ran out of poses, so they killed him and brought in Miles.
He can do the same poses that Peter had already done. He just can't repeat himself either.
Change the costume, reprint it. Yeah. The last ASM issue really tied the room together. I still haven't read the annual from last week. The comic vet said the annual was pretty good. He said it hit harder than the main book did that week. So, yeah. And I know that the annual it's probably completely outside of the main story run because they're doing that. They're doing the Infinite Destinies. Oh wow, you got that Ross as the boss cover right there. Is that the one that you won?
Yeah. Yeah. Team Nerd Herd came through.
So you're selling that, you said?
Well, yes. I don't think I've said that, but yes, that is. It's a cool cover, though, man.
What issue is it?
The cover. It's 798. Amazing Spider-Man 798. And if somebody would like to pick this up, it's the first appearance of Norman Osborn as the Red Goblin. I will warn you, UPS really did a job on the corner there, so
it's got a little bit of a fracture to it.
Do what?
Got a little bit of a fracture to it.
Yeah, it's pretty busted up, but it doesn't actually affect. It's not even down to where the book is and stuff. So
yeah,
nothing wrong with the book. It's not exposed. It's just the corner right there is open where the label's at.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to work out a deal with me on that, I'd be happy to let it go.
25 schmeckles.
But yeah, it is a cool cover. I do dig it. It's a nice cover. It's got a really cool texture to it.
What do you mean? Like the book?
Visually, it almost looks like it was painted or something. It just, it kind of has a certain
Oh
look
yeah,
and texture to
Alex
it all.
Ross. Yeah, it was painted
Yeah.
on canvas.
Yeah, like it comes through in the actual image though, you know.
Now I'm not saying this jokingly, but do you have any other Alex Ross books?
I don't think I have any of his covers, no.
So you're not like, yeah, that's kind of like when you get a Gabriel Dell'Otto cover, especially in the format that he's been doing recently, how he's been working with black paper. When you look at it, you can see the grain of the paper he's
Yeah.
on. Yeah, because it's almost like what's that like? It's almost like a rough all black piece of paper that he's like rubbing like chalk on or something. The way that the it's not ink, but the way that the ink or the paint like goes across it, you can definitely tell it's
Yeah. Like the brush strokes and stuff.
yeah, dude, it's fantastic. I love Alex Ross. I've got
Yeah, I did watch that like little. I mean, it wasn't like a documentary, you know, but like that video they put out when he was doing the timeless variants and all that. That video, like, it was really cool to see his process and like how he thinks about drawing superheroes and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, that was one of the things that had me so amazed with Kingdom Come, because I mean I know I harp on Kingdom Come, but that was really my first like actual story exposure to Alex Ross. Like I had seen his artwork starting to emerge on the scene and everything, but actually reading Kingdom Come outside of the story itself, when I got that first print trade paperback, I don't want to talk about it. I'll be about it. In the back of it, you actually see where he would do things like how he kind of made his images. Like you see this picture of the guy standing there in the outfit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now then you look over here and you see where he put Orion into the book. So you see him how he like actually would work with actual models and stuff, and it was amazing to me that he was taking these real people and like look at Norman, like that's him. That's the real
wow,
people.
yeah.
And then you can go and you can pull that panel out of the book. Like it's just really impressive how he would do stuff like that. And I'm going to pull it out of this book. Got to find him in the church praying. But it's the same dude.
Oh yeah, wow.
That's
the other thing that I like about like Alex Ross's work is how consistent it is. You know, like to be painting and drawing people like that look that photorealistic and to have it like that consistently accurate and the same and stuff is really impressive.
At this point,
he's a true master of his talent.
Almost 30 years, Superman has looked like it's been the same actor playing him on his canvases. You know what I mean? It hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Captain America has the same creases in his face. Wonder Woman still looks like a strange female version of Alex Ross. Because in all sincerity, a lot of his characters kind of resemble him because he uses like I don't know what it is, like it's almost like a trope where he kind of adds himself, his elements of his own features into his characters.
Well, in that video, he talked about how he like has a mirror right there that he constantly looks at to kind of like think about the features and kind of how the angle, like the shadows and stuff hit different angles and stuff, you know? So as he's painting, he's probably looking at himself to see what would the light look like coming across the face at this point, and it probably just kind of seeps in.
Yeah,
you know,
where actual points are as well. Like when you start shading someone's face, the same yours gets angled. You're literally at that point recreating your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said Marissa uses a mirror. Nick, you have the link in case you really do want to hop on and talk about books this week and whatever else we talk about. But back to the Spider-Man annual real quick. I know the annual he said is good because it's all the annuals going on right now are connected to each other. The Iron Man was part 1 of this Infinite Destinies, and Spider-Man is just part 4 or 5 of it, I believe. So it's outside of the main storyline. But annuals are clapping right now because that Flash one was so good, man.
Yeah, that was something I was talking about earlier in a Discord. Like, I hate annuals. I think they're so stupid. They usually just like it's a bunch of throwaway stuff. But this last year or so, you know, like the Batman annual back in December, like that was awesome because it was just one story, you know. Catwoman was the same thing. Like they just did a story of a side character, you know, and but it was just one story, so it was good. It wasn't all these like little short pieces that are supposed to like honor the tradition of the character and stuff. Like those always just kind of like turn into throwaway stuff, in my opinion. So I'm glad that they've kind of figured out a way to do annuals that isn't just, you know, something to get rid of.
Well, I like how they treated Flash here. It was almost like the wrestling format. You know, you have Monday Night Raw and Thursday Night SmackDown, and people are battling and moving up through the ranks. But you're not going to see anybody change the heavyweight title belt on a Monday or Thursday. It has to be at the pay-per-view. So with Flash, they gave us like 5 issues of an ongoing story, and then waited for the annual to give us the conclusion. The annual was the pay-per-view. It was slightly bigger, you know, and it's got annual written across it. Man, what a payoff. What a payoff. Hit me right in the feels.
Nice.
Yeah, they should do that more often. And I know what you're referring to, like the 80-page giants they do, or the anniversary specials, like how they just did Green Arrow. And I still, if they would have done a Delato cover, I would have got it to match all my other ones, you know, like the Catwoman, the Joker, the Superman, Batman, Detective. I've got the Delatos for all of those. And those were more or less pretty good, but a lot of them, like you said, are throwaway. It isn't like they add anything to the overall story arc of what's going on with the character. It's kind of good if you don't read these characters and you're thinking, I wonder if I want to read them. You could pick up one of those anniversary books and just kind of get a little flashlight spotlight into the different areas of their life to see if it's something that you might be interested in.
Yeah, and I think it was like last year or the year before where a lot of the annuals, what they were doing was like there would be a short story that was like, you know, key to the continuity of the series. But it was like that plus a bunch of other short stories in the annual that nobody cared about.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you got to buy it to keep up with what's going on for like the 6-page story that's in there. But like all that other stuff was just a waste of your money.
Yeah, that's crappy.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. Like either just make it something like throwaway, like just a bunch of one-shots that are connected to nothing, or do it like they've been doing it this year where they're like giving you origin stories to like side characters or something, you know?
Yeah, or finales. I am excited to check out the annual for Action Comics this week, though, because we're going back to the House of L that we visited in that Future State one-shot that kind of showed us the end of time Superman stuff where you have like all the descendants of Kal-El and everything fighting that. What was it, an invasion or something that they were dealing with, or like a great evil or whatever?
I don't remember.
I think it was that all-encompassing evil stuff, but
that was one of those books that I read like once. I feel like I basically just skimmed it when I did read it. So
all I remember is a lot of people dying in it. But we're going back to the House of L to kind of dive back into those characters, which I'm very excited about. I did pick up that Joker issue number 5 today. Unfortunately, I've got it pictured right under you, but they did have the 1 in 25 variant of Vengeance for this one. It came in damaged, so I'm going to have to wait on a reissue to come to the store, which no worries. That actually saved me a little bit of money before I'm going on vacation, so that's all well and good.
Yeah. Put that money in, maybe it'll come up on a lighter week, you know?
Yeah. This week wasn't too bad. I think I had 4, 8, and I think I had 10 books. I don't know. We'll see. Now that Justice League Last Ride issue number 3, and this cover is ultra wicked, dude. Look at that.
My only disappointment with this cover is that it wasn't the cardstock one.
Yeah, no, I'm
like
happy
everything about it is so good. I mean, come on, stars and everything, but I do wish that they had put it on cardstock and made it like really pop.
Yeah,
and I didn't think the cardstock one that they put out was even as good as this cover, anyway.
Wasn't that the one with Batman kind of landing?
Yeah.
I did pick up that second print of Nice House on the Lake, and they went full We Live third print on it. Like with it looks damaged. Even has it looks like it has a ripped corner. It's obviously not ripped, but it's made to mirror a rip.
Mm-hmm.
But this one,
yeah, I hadn't even seen it before, and then I saw it at the store, and I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it must be a second print because it looks all messed up."
Yeah, and it does next to the $3.99. It does have a little listing for second print, but just out of some kind of comparison, those first prints were vastly ordered, mass ordered, high print run.
Yeah, I was watching
4 copies of this on the shelf at my LCS. 4.
Wow,
that's it.
Yeah, I was listening to Cup of Comics FOC video this morning, and that was something he had brought up. Is like, as massively ordered and printed and everything, you know, nobody really expected Nice House on the Lake #1 to really have much secondary market value, but it did. Like it flew like crazy and got a second printing and everything. I really didn't think it was going to pull it off with 160,000 copies.
Yeah. Most likely the cover of the week. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hey, Ryan, come on. Hey,
you're a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. Come on.
Look at the fingerprint, the way like the little grooves on
the lines.
Yeah, that's a fingerprint. And look how it hits. Oh, hey, come on. And that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a really good cover.
In a negative space variant, it's just blue and it's got a little bit of red on the Private Eye shirt. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Come on. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm probably gonna, man. I have a hard time on weeks like this when you have Last Ride, Rorschach. How good that Flash was, dude. I literally put this back on the shelf, and I'm like, damn it, I've got to get it. I own every Future State book that's dropped. I flipped through it. You know that mystery guy at the beginning of issue 1 who is in the sewer? He rolls out his first appearance. I'm like, come on.
Well played, DC. Well played.
Yeah, well played. Just when you wanted me to dip.
I know, right?
They roll out a character who hasn't been seen in Future State yet in this book. You're going to find out who that person in the sewer is in this book. So, yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna read it. But
and look at the cover. It looks like we're getting Red Hood fighting with Jace. So we've had him run into Bruce. We've had Jace run into Nightwing. So he's going to run into Jason. And I'm still holding out that Damian pops up somewhere. Just when I thought,
I wonder if he will though, since he's like out on that island having fun with all of his kindergarten friends or whatever.
Yeah, he's probably still there during Future State. Ooh, we're safe here. We can live together. We can go on Lord of the Flies. It'll be fun. Batman Detective by Tom Taylor, issue number 4 of 6. So good. I haven't read this issue, but this has been a great series. I'm glad it's only 6 issues. I hope they quit dropping awesome stuff because I'm like, that's about to end soon. Thank God. That'll lighten my load. But then I saw that like Blue and Gold is coming out soon, like a 6-issue miniseries. And I'm like, man, I love Booster Gold. Man, I love me some Ted Cord. Man, that's like the best buddy cop dynamic that's ever happened is those two. Minus Jason Statham with The Rock in that Fast and the Furious movie that I expected to hate. I'm like, why is this the best movie out of the whole franchise?
Because it didn't have Vin Diesel's poor acting in it.
Family. You literally have like a superhero in a Fast and Furious movie as the bad guy, like legit. The Transformer for a motorcycle, legit. But Jason Statham and The Rock's chemistry in that film, you're like, it doesn't matter what they do in this movie, how ridiculous it gets. You can literally have somebody just fly out of nowhere, have the ability of flight, and it would still be the best movie in the franchise because of their dynamic together. It was that good. But the movie was fun. It was action-packed. It was very entertaining. What is up? Actual Dracula is in the building. How are you doing today, sir? We're just here talking about New Comic Book Day, going through the stuff that I've picked up for the first 24 hours of the 48-hour event known as New Comic Book Day every week. And here's that Action Comics
Annual.
Yeah. Family.
Family.
Superman family. So you have all of these people far down the line of Kal-El. Some of them are lantern ring slingers with the Lantern Corps. You got Jonathan on there. There's some in here that are dead by the end of the issue of Future State. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to go back into this. I'm kind of hoping that, just flipping through it real quick. I'm not, it's an annual. I'm not too invested in the story. It looks like it's coming before that Future State story. I was wondering if they're kind of going to jump forward a little bit after the events of Future State where, Kal-El made his return, because that whole era of of Superman family members, they had never actually met Kal-El. They only knew him from myth. And he kind of shows up at the end and rights some wrongs. But yeah. And here's the only one that's actually listed as a spec book proper or as a key. This is the origin of Vile this week in Detective Comics. What is that? Mariko Tamaki has been writing this. That cover is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is very fantastic artwork on there. The way that Batman's drawn, I mean, look at that.
Like, I don't want to like try to diss Tynan, but this is how you roll out new characters. Like Mr. Worth definitely has my attention. Vile is like you said, kind of a throwaway character, but like still interesting, and I'm excited to read that issue and find out more about his origin and stuff. You know.
Yeah, Tynan went out at a very weird angle, just dropping one a month and not doing anything with them. But I'm sure, like long term, like he plans. I mean, I've seen solicitations from a few months from now where Miracle Molly's on the cover of books and stuff. So but dude, getting there, you get to the point. We mentioned it where you kind of just stop caring before you get there, and you're gonna have to learn to re-care again. That being said, it's possible he can do it if he writes it well enough. Like Batman 110, like I told you, Ghostmaker surprisingly was kind of cool in that issue. Minus the parachute pants, minus the ghost stream, minus the weird flirting with Harley, which kind of makes sense for his character, though. You know, it's all like a big sport to him. You know, everything in life, everything's a challenge. So, but he actually that was
one
actually
of those things
cool
like
where him and Bruce just kind of like operated well separately. Like they know each other so well, they represented that good. They called back to all that stupid dialogue and poor rollout of their connected origin, but they called back to it in a good way where all of a sudden you're like, dude, he should be able to pull this off. You better pull this off. You can do this. Come on. And by the skin of their teeth, they did it. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Tynan's really good at like setting up and paying off. The problem is like, so is Tom King. And that's exactly what people hated about his run on Batman because it's ongoing. You don't know when you're going to get to the payoff. When it's a 12-issue series, you know that I'm going to sit through these first like 9 issues of setup, but then it's all going to pay off all at once, you know? And Tynan does the payoff, but it's an ongoing title that doesn't work, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with those maxi series, the farther that the writer is capable to push the payoffs, the bigger the payoff. Like, if you can push it to issue 10, even better than 9. If you can wait till 11, all the better. Just don't wait till 12.
Don't try to cram it all into the end.
Yeah, let's try to spend 12 in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I totally get that, like, Tynan's been setting things up so that they would pay off. I was just like, I'm tired of reading setup issues without him having any indication to the reader when the payoff's going to happen. I don't know if I have to buy 3 more issues to get to a good point or if it's going to be another 6 issues or 12 issues, you know?
You don't really know what you're committing to.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it just kind of gets boring to like drone on hoping, because every week you have this anticipation of like, maybe this is the one. And then when it's not there, you feel kind of disappointed. I mean, that was part of what got me with Wonder Girl is like, I was excited for that book 3 different times. And then whenever it finally got here, I was like, well, this definitely didn't pay off all the anticipation I had for it because you kept moving it around, you know? I was like, okay, that's fine. They pushed it back, but I'm excited because it's going to be great. And then it got here, I was like, you could have just like phoned it in anyway, you know?
Half of it feels like it was phoned in.
Mm-hmm.
What is this crap?
I didn't see you show this one, but I definitely picked this one up.
Did I miss that book on the shelf somehow? Well, I don't even shop off the shelf. I just grab stuff out of my pool box. Yeah, I saw it on the rack, but I just assumed my box. It missed my box. That's okay. I'll just read it digitally. I'm not going back before I go on vacation.
I doubt it's going to sell out anyway. People are sleeping on it.
Yeah. I'll just message him and tell him to throw one in my box. Paul, if you're watching this, I did not have Infinite Front. I don't think I necessarily signed up for that one either ahead of time. You know, I wasn't. I think I said I was going to read issue 1 and see how it goes. No, I don't know. I'll get excited for stuff and plan in my head definitely to pick it up, but forget to tell them to put it on my pool. You know what I mean? I'm always like, on Tuesdays anyways. I don't have to worry about anything selling out before I get there. But yeah, the cover is awesome. That's another one. I like the cover A better than the cover B. You got Chase looking through the double mirror at Superman and Batman there.
Yeah.
There's levels to it.
I still need to finish getting caught up on the what's it called? Secret Files or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that was good.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna read all those and get caught up, and then I'll read this one. But I'm excited for it. Like 0 and 1 were really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for the characters that are in it. We got Alan Scott, we got Calvin Ellis, we got Rory Harper, you got twists involved with a lot of these characters. And Director Bones, man, I think he's going to be the breakout star of all this. I think he's going to be just such a savage asshole. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, he's been good, and I mean, only one issue, but in Checkmate, he was good there.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Checkmate gets brought into this somehow. But then again, it's only 6 issues, so that would be. I don't know, because I don't know if you read the solicitation for Checkmate. But it in the solicitation for the first one, it's like, hey, we got these people coming in. Bendis writing a story. Will be an appearance by Superman and thousands of appearances through this series. I'm like, how are you going to do thousands of appearances? Oh, we're in the Omniverse. So maybe.
Yeah.
They pull in
I mean,
there.
the only thing is like Checkmate's kind of mixing over into
main continuity.
Well, yeah, but yeah, in Justice League, there you go, with Green Arrow and Canary, so it's already its own thing, plus it's in that book. I guess Infinite Frontier will make sense because it's kind of touching on everything, but like I don't necessarily need Checkmate to bleed over into everything either,
I don't know. It's fun when it does, man. When stuff in general, when DC's continuity, when they're playing proper with their continuity, it is a treat to be reading multiple titles. Because you see how Suicide Squad is dipping their toes in everything, whether you read it or not. All that's doing is adding to Suicide Squad. It's not taking away from it. They're not punishing you if you don't read these other books. But if you do read them, you're just like, oh my God, y'all were there. You were there. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was about to say, I wonder how long until Suicide Squad crosses over into Checkmate.
They'll be there when someone there needs kidnapping.
Right.
What are some other titles you're looking forward to this week? I normally have all the books up in here, but everything's gone because I'm going on vacation and I've spent, oh God, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have pre-recorded and loaded up like a month. Normally this much content would spread me out over a month, but because I'm not banking on doing any lives or anything, I definitely am going to, but I can't guarantee when or what. So I've uploaded tons of videos. Everything that's coming out this week, I had uploaded by Saturday. 100% of next week is already uploaded and just scheduled to be released, as well as Monday the 26th even is filmed and ready to be released. I've got a recorded one for this Friday where I normally go live, set to release at 12 noon, with announcements of what's coming for the next week and all that stuff. So I've been crazy burning through content. I've saved up a bunch of stuff and I've got a fantastic week of stuff planned for next week while I'm gone.
Yep.
StreamYard was emptied out and refilled like 10 times over since Saturday.
Man, I tell you, Beyond the Breach, I'm getting more excited for it the closer we get to tomorrow, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those, like, I still don't really know exactly where I'm at on excitement scale, just because, like, I read the synopsis and I was like, I don't know, it sounds okay. But people are really excited for it, and I forget who's writing it, but it's a name. So, I mean, it should deliver. So I'm excited to check it out and see if it does. Ed Brisson. I don't think I've ever read any of his writing, but I've heard his name enough that I know he's somebody.
Did you read the teaser pages for it in the back of Out of Body?
No, I did not.
All right, so spoiler for it's a teaser page, but you get Vanessa driving, it looks like through like the Redwood Forest, Mm-hmm. And she's driving, just out of nowhere, crap hits the fan, blah, blah, blah. And she looks up, and there's this twisted John Carpenter-looking bug monster just eating somebody in half, like pretty gory as well. It looked cool. The artwork was fantastic in it. The concept sounds fun. Breach in the Sky opens. California turns into an H.P. Lovecraft nightmare, her, a little kid, and a creature from the other side of the breach, Wizard of Oz style through this new territory. It sounds really cool. And of course, the Sealess Villains have the exclusive variant that they did with Rudy Howe for it, which you can find at rkfacomics.com. So I'm sure that they might have a couple left. It's a trade and a virgin set for like $40, I believe. You can also buy one or the other. You do not have to buy them as a set, but the set is the best value, obviously. I have 3 that are continued reads: Death by Life, Helm Greycastle, and Rangers of the Divide. Nice. You read Rangers of the Divide, didn't you, Ryan?
I read Helm, Greycastle, and Rangers of the Divide, and honestly, I didn't care for either one. I thought Helm Greycastle was weird because there was no establishing shots in the book. So it quite literally seemed like you were just turning. It was almost like a calendar or something with the same characters in a slightly different organization on the page, but you would turn the page and they're just somewhere else, and then you turn the page and they're somewhere else, and then it's really only half a book because the back half is basically a tabletop RPG game and setting and stuff, and apparently that's how it all ties together. You're supposed to play this game and stuff, but it definitely wasn't for me. I know some people really enjoyed it because they do the tabletop gaming thing, but I haven't done that in years, so it didn't really work for me on that level.
What's going on, Dan?
I'll tell you, the other book that's coming out tomorrow that's in this really weird space is Ninjak #1.
Yeah, I've got a copy on the way.
Have you seen the artwork inside?
I was looking at the book today, and I did not pick it up to open it. I remember you saying it had this weird anime style to it, or animation style to it, or something.
Yeah, not anime, animation, I don't know, something more in the realm of The Simpsons or Family Guy or something.
What?
Yeah, it's super strange artwork for Ninjak. And that kind of tells me either this is going to be so incredibly unique and amazing that it's just going to blow our minds,
Probably
or it's going to be the biggest flop ever. But I really don't see how it's going to fall in between, because for Ninjak, that character, that's a very weird art style.
No, I did not get the A cover. I did not pick it up with the intention of reading it and keeping up with it in the long run. But John Jang did do a cover for it. I think he did it through Frankie's Comics. I can't remember. He did a cover for it through somebody's comic. So I do have the John Jang exclusive coming from. No, Frankie's, yeah. Because I remember it was a Golden Apple Frankie's, because they always have shared exclusive. Golden Apple is the shop that's out in California that is the primary holder of the variants, and then Frankie's Comics get allocated issues.
Yeah.
So I was going on vacation and that book releases this Wednesday. I ordered it from Frankie's because they take longer to ship. So I'm like, I order from Golden Apple, it'll probably show up while I'm out of town.
Sitting on your front stoop.
Show up after I come back from out of town.
Sitting on the third step, collecting rain.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree, Mars. This is a book. I like Ninjak. I like Valiant. And so I really hope it falls into that category of surprisingly good and just blows my mind as to how they make it all work. But I really don't see a middle ground here. I don't think people are going to kind of like it or something, Yeah, that cover is fire, though. I remember you showing me the cover.
The background on my phone right now is the Jang Ninjak variant. I kind of just keep his most recent variant on the background of my phone just so I can remember to watch for the mail. What's up, Todd Christian? How are you doing today? Let me see. Flash says, Mark, do you have Batman and half Flash? LOL.
I guess, are you half Batman and half Flash?
Are you half Batman and half Flash? I don't know.
That'd be cool, though.
That would be cool. Did anybody see the Miko Suyon variant for Batman 89 that's coming up?
No.
Well, how convenient for you. I have it ready right here to share. So there's it's a discrepancy on the email that says it's coming out yesterday. Oh, look at that bad boy. Look how they do that. How Miko did the cape to make it just match the fabric and the style of the film. But it'll be in a trade Virgin set or trade by itself, and I kind of like the trade better just because it's in the same font that the movie poster was on. But it's an homage to that Jim Lee cover that has like the pairing with the Superman cover, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's amazing. Like man, the whole thing looks good. Like, that's just wicked.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
It's I don't know. It's a little bit weird how small the Batman body is with that giant cape, but the quality's there. It looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's Batman '89. You know, it isn't like Michael Keaton is.
Yeah,
The Undertaker.
That was pre like getting jacked up on the Marvel diet. Whenever you get cast.
Yeah. Then you look at what The Rock looks like on the set of Black Adam right now, and it puts the entire MCU to shame just because he's naturally just ripped.
Yeah,
like his neck doesn't go into his shirt anymore.
Like what's his name, Kumail Nanjiani. Whenever he got cast for the Eternals, and then he got like all like beef caked out, you know, and it's like, man, it almost looks like too weird, like too out of body, but like it works for The Rock because that's just how he is every day, you know.
Yeah. Can you imagine what he would look like if he wasn't swole? It'd be scary. What's going on, Austin May? Listen on in, and everybody be sure to drop that hashtag everywhere you go, every chat you hang out in. Hit that hashtag Austin over Peach. Let's get this guy into the industry already.
Right. Promiscuous time traveler. I would say we're
naturally ripped is a stretch. Yeah. I mean, not to the degree that you see him in. That dude puts in the man hours. He really does.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's like plenty of like documentary videos of his workout and stuff. So
but he's by no, I mean, when it comes down to like body shape and like the people that are capable of doing that, it's not everybody in the world is capable of looking like that with the same amount of work and the same plan. Some people have the disposition for it. He's one of them. Yeah, we're both on the train.
Yeah,
but
we were.
Train. I'm kind of on the caboose.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed 50% of the last issue.
I'm only reading the stories that pertain to my interests. I'm going to be reading all the Rick 2K stories because that was just a disgustingly fun good time. And I read Ultra Mega, and tomorrow I'll be reading Murder Falcon. For sure. But
I mean, that's really what sold me on the whole thing. Even Ultra Mega, I was like, it was cool, but I don't know if I want to buy a whole book for a short story. But then I was like, but you know, there's a Murder Falcon story in there, so I'll go ahead and do the whole series. Why not? Which there's only one book in the series that doesn't have a like a series that I'm familiar with that I really want to read the story of. So I think it's like number 4. But like all of them, they found at least one series from Skybound that I've read before. So,
I got you. Yeah, when I do the share screen thing, I can't actually see what y'all see anymore. When I share screen, it's all gone. So I wasn't able to see that. I guess when the Batman cover was up with the image of Flash behind us.
Yeah.
I was no longer able to see. Like Ryan can see, y'all can see, but once I share screen, I'm blind to what's happening on YouTube. I just have to remember not to pick my nose in those moments. That's all. There it is. We got one.
Boom.
I wish Marvel would cast Jack Black and make him super fit. That would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be like when they slimmed Seth Rogen down for Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Or when they slimmed Jonah Hill down, and I can't remember what movie it was that they actually addressed it. It was like 21 Jump Street or something. Like, dude, it's weird. Yeah. Yeah, the Joker 1 in 25 is amazing. I get all of those, and the ones that came in today had a damage on them because the way that the books got packaged. There was a cardboard beam, like a cardboard divider that was actually by accident crossways on the bottom on the book, flat on the cover, and it pressed it down and like it.
Oh yeah,
the cover right at the spine. And unfortunately, it's an all white cover, so reporting it is going to be difficult because you send in the pictures and everything, but it's hard to see color breaks on all white.
Yeah.
Yeah, Murder Falcon for sure, Ignacio. That's definitely in my top 10 all-time favorite read. So again, it's been a long time since we got anything Murder Falcon. There's only that original 7 issues, So this is going to be interesting where they place it. I'm wondering if they're going to. I don't think there's going to be much Murder Falcon in it. If there's any kind of clues from what we saw with the Ultra Mega story, because they're not going to be pushing the narrative forward. Obviously, we're going to have to jump back. Maybe we'll see him in a band or something. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it'll just be about the Falcon.
Yeah. Whenever they originally announced it and stuff, it was billed as roughly 50 pages in each of these books, and the 2 stories. And so I was like, okay, it sounds like we're getting, and I think they had mentioned that there was like a connecting story in there as well. And so to me, I was like, okay, it sounds like we're going to get like basically a full issue, like one shot, about 20 pages out of each of those. Yeah. And then maybe like 10 pages for this connecting story. But now that we've read the first one, we know it's like considerably less pages per story. And there's more stories in there than what they're advertising. So we'll see how much Murder Falcon we get, but I mean, even 1 page is worth it if you ask me.
Where do you see his lives at? I would like to check some of those out. What an incredible creator that guy is! Like,
yeah,
story, art,
I didn't know he did lives.
Yeah, but Murder Falcon is something that I don't necessarily want to see continue. The fact that we're getting this is exciting, but what are you going to add to it? Like, how can you possibly add anything to that story? It's like what I've mentioned before. Doing follow-ups and sequels to epic stories, to me it just downplays them, because there's a lot of stuff that's left just for you to wonder. Like, I wonder how this guy's life played out, kind of thing, And I don't need to know. I'd rather just see this piece of their life and move on,
Well, and I'm trying to remember. I think whenever he was on Comic Book Club Live and announced to me that he was doing a short in Skybound X. I want to say that he said at that time, like, he doesn't have plans. He has no intentions of doing more Murder Falcon, like not another, like a sequel series or anything. But he is doing this little short story for the Skybound X thing, which to me, like, that's cool. Like, please don't make plans to do more Murder Falcon because it's perfect as is. Like, go visit something else. I'm sure I get plenty of hate for it, but I like if, in TV, like 1 or 2 seasons, tell your story and get out. We don't need a bunch of stuff. And same thing with comics. Like, if you write a good series, like, let it be. Why does everybody think they always have to go back and revisit something? Like, just let it be.
I don't know.
Go do something else. Like, there's only so many stories, so it's not like anybody's writing some like incredibly original, once in a lifetime story or something. There's only so many stories. We're just remixing the elements. So you as a creator, like, if you're only leaning on this one property, then you need to like reconsider what you're doing. Like, move on, do some other stories, do other characters, because you're going to ultimately end up recycling the same stories. You're just changing elements. So go change elements on something new. I don't need like 25 years of the same character. It gets old.
I like 26 years of the same character.
That's the breaking point, right? The tipping point.
That's when it becomes fresh again.
Yeah. Just ask the Simpsons or South
Simpsons
Park.
did it. Yeah. He works sketches, plays guitar. He even shows previews while working on his Beta Ray Bill issues. That's fantastic. I cannot watch spoilers. No spoilers.
So
something
wait,
is
did he say where
only. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did he say where it's at? Like Instagram lives or YouTube live?
YouTube Fridays on B Dubs.
No, YouTube Friday with D Dubs. Okay.
D Dubs.
D Dubs.
D Dubs stuff. He works sketches, plays guitar, even shows previews. That's pretty impressive. Something is Killing the Children was only billed as a miniseries. Now they're forcing more narrative. I think that will start to wane on everyone. It waned on me the moment we got issue House of Slaughter crap. Like, you literally just took the mystique out of this whole series somehow. In one issue, you just did it. You did it.
Sucked all the air out of it.
Yep.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I think it hit you harder than a lot of other people because, like, you basically binged the whole series up to, like, what, 12 or something?
Yeah.
And then just, like, finished it out for, like, the last 3 issues. Whereas, like, I started at number 1. So for me, like, I was already used to that, like, once a month kind of, like, slow plodding pace, you know? But even me, like, once we got to 17, I was like, man, like, half that issue was worth the time. And the rest of it was just all, like, filler content to fill it out, you know. So I think the wind came out of your sails a little faster than the rest of us, but I think it is starting to wear on people because he pitched it as like a 5-issue series, and then he turned that story into 15 issues, you know, and that was already borderline about as far as it could stretch, you know.
I'll tell you how they turned it into a 5 to 15, and he wrote 0 more content. They just laid the panels out differently. That's all. In all sincerity, because you go back and look at something, look at Department of Truth, look at Nice House, busy books, very busy, a lot going on each page, cram packed with content. Even his Batman books that aren't moving an overall big story narrative forward, they're still packed with content, whether it's relevant or not. This dude does not tell like spread out a bunch of air stories. That's not how he writes. And it shows. And now he's trying to write like that, and it's not good.
Yeah, and I mean, I was even thinking today on my drive, I was thinking about like why are people so desperate for an adaptation of something that's killing the children? And I think it kind of goes back to something I was talking about way back whenever it first came out. Like that book and Undiscovered Country, they went with a lot of widescreen panels. And I feel like that's why people immediately attach to something that's killing the children as an adaptation, is because it looks like how you watch TV now, you know, like it's in this widescreen format. A lot of the panels are stretched across, you know. So I like the artwork. I think it's cool. I know some people complain about it being too scratchy and stuff, but I like Werther Deladera's artwork, but it is like there's just not quite enough content in there. I especially think about like Department of Truth number 10 with the Bigfoot issue.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, but think about that letter. If that whole letter had just been illustrated in panels, like that book would have been like that thick.
Yeah,
there was so much content. Yeah, and it wasn't just like typed out content, you know, like it was done as like a letter, and it had all the handwriting and the little sketches and stuff in the corner. Like it was just like a really great way to add so much more content into that book without making me feel like I was just reading a novel, you know.
And the way that they formatted it too, like the fact that they want to tell a story of this father who's lost his mind and how it affected his family and his kids specifically.
So dark.
They literally turned it into a journal of the kid, you know, like with doodles of the kid and everything on it. So they like that is so creative, you know.
Yeah.
That is so creative. It actually added so much to that book. And like you said, it was so dark. And then seeing that the kid grew up to be just like his dad, you know, that was pretty wicked.
Now that I'm done ranting about the other ones, you can go back to the Undone by Blood comment. I agree to a certain extent. Like Undone by Blood, it took me a good like 3 issues to really lock in on that first series, but then it really like pulled me in from there. Like once you kind of hit that tipping point of more Solomon, then I forget her name right now. But once you like kind of hit that tipping point where it crossed over, like I was hooked into that first series. And then the second series here, the first like 2 issues were better than the first series. Like they went in, like hit the ground running, guns blazing. Like it was so good. And then the last 2 issues of this second run was just like, what is going on? Like it just rapidly started falling apart. Especially that last issue. I absolutely hated the way it ended. I cannot believe they ended it that way.
How did they
like
end it?
Well, the whole story is like, you know, these people, they're like reading this book about this old cowboy, like an old pulp novel. And so it kind of like, in a way, like cuts back and forth between the two, you know. And the character in the book is Solomon Eaton. And like, he's a bad dude. Like he's a bad cowboy, right? And I really got hooked on that character. He was great. And he was the connecting tissue between the different series, you know. And so toward the end of his story in the book, in the second series, like he kind of double crosses some people, and it makes sense for his character. But then the character on the other side, it doesn't make sense for his character, but that's the lesson he takes from the book. And not only does he like double cross everybody, but then he like takes the book and throws it away, literally. And so you like see the page kind of like fold over, and like the best character in the whole series just like gets thrown in the trash can. And I was like, I don't like that. Like you're throwing away the best part of the series.
Are they in a position that they can come back?
I mean, technically, if there's another series where they find another book about Solomon Eaton, then he could come back. But I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, the thing is, the first series was so good, it got picked up for a TV show, I think on AMC, and like Norman Reedus, and so the second series feels very forced.
Is this that Norman Reedus book, like the characters drawn like Norman Reedus?
I don't think so. I don't know what he looks like though. So
I remember Brent telling me about this Norman Reedus book that was coming out that he kind of got duped into buying from the secondary shop that he goes to in Charleston.
The first one was Undone by Blood, Shadow of a Wanted Man, which is the name of the novel that they're reading in the series, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that first 5 issues. The second series, I don't know why it was 4 issues. Makes no sense. It should have been 5, just like the first series. So that was already kind of a weird thing. And then on top of that, it just like really unraveled with the last 2 issues of that.
No.
So disappointing, but.
Speaking of random indie books that you read that I don't read, I've gotten about 4 issues into the first volume. No, 3 issues into the first volume of Bitterroot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Ignacio's got a response to what you just said. Are Lonnie Nadler and Zach Thompson crapping on the media machine with that second series?
I don't know. Could be possible. I don't know. I really like Zach Thompson's writing. Lonnie Nadler, that's the first series I've ever read from him. So I don't know. I know Zach Thompson struggles a lot with I guess like the nature of the beast and the nature of the machine. So it's very possible that they were specifically trying to target that, but kind of weird since they just sold their series to be made into a TV show.
Let's get a secondary person's opinion on that. Someone who reads it, because I don't. Let's welcome the promiscuous time traveler himself to the stream.
Boom.
What up? Yeah, so Shadow of a Wanted Man was the first adaptation. I thought it was really awesome because they play on the different tropes of timelines, and it's typical cowboy revenge story, and I love that. I don't think Norman Reedus got duped into it. He did an interview where he absolutely loved it. He was like, I want this story. I want to make this story into something. And then they went into the other side.
We got a fan here.
Yeah, no, I got this already. That's why it took me a second to get in here. So then they went into the other side of Eden, and exactly what Ryan said. It seems forced. The first 2 are the first one was amazing. Like this one was awesome.
Yeah.
I even bought
the first one like hits the ground running. It's so good.
Yep, and I was super on board, so I picked up the 1 in 15 for it, and then I stopped at number 2. Like I read number 2, I haven't read past number 2 because it just kind of it seemed so forced, and like like shows like Steven Universe, like they told a story and then they just stopped, and the fans are like, please more story, please, I want some more story, and the creators are like, no, like this is. You love this because I told my story, I got out, and I was done. So that kind of storytelling is interesting, and I think the same thing applies to Something is Killing the Children. I think they're just forcing more narrative.
They're just done. Yeah, that first arc is great. It's complete. It feels complete. I don't need to know where Ellie goes after that. I know where she goes. She goes to the next town. She goes and just repeats the process because that is her life.
Exactly.
Lonely, shallow, saving people for no recognition and trying to keep as many people alive in the process, rebelling against the order that she was doing it all for to begin with. Like that's her life. But now they're
like I said, it would have made sense if like Erica and James had moved on to the next town and now she's training him, and so you get all the action of her and him working together to fight these monsters, but then like the slower bits, instead of it being them relationship building like in the first series, now it splices and cuts back to her comparing and contrasting with how she was trained and brought into the order. Like that would have made sense. That would have worked. But whatever, you're like, we're just going to go all in on this whole like training thing for Erica's baby Erica. Like it's just boring. It's very, very boring.
Yeah, and then they have a free comic book day coming out for Something Is Killing the Children as well. And
Enter the House of Slaughter, which we've done. We've done it now.
Yeah.
I'm all the way in it. I want to pull out. That came out wrong, didn't it?
Yeah.
Who's the guy that's in charge of Boom?
Richie.
Ross Ritchie. Yeah, he said that the free comic book day should bring people back in because they were expanding the universe. So he says.
Expand it.
He seems like a really cool guy whenever I see him on streams and stuff, but he's also one of those people that's like really good at marketing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a pitch man.
Yeah.
He's like, we got something really cool coming out at the end of the year. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about Eve? I haven't been able to read Eve from Boom.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I know that Justin from Justin Comics, a good friend of mine, he absolutely loved it. He said it hit him in like kind of emotional ways that kind of We Live started out with, you know. So
okay, that's right.
To see where it'll go, you know. He's hoping that it plays out kind of like that did, not story-wise.
Yeah. Third one comes out tomorrow.
People are specking on the book.
Yeah, I mean, it's solid. Like, I think it's probably one of those that's going to get picked up. You know how Boom is; they're always kind of looking for something. So I could see this getting picked up as a show or something. The artwork and the character designs and stuff are really cool, but there are moments in the action where it's just like a little too convoluted and hard to tell what's going on occasionally. Okay. And so that's the one thing that gives me a little hesitation on it. But overall, it's really solid. It seems like a fully realized concept. Like, it definitely doesn't seem like I'm going to start this and then figure out where it goes from here. Like, it seems like Victor Laval has sat down and like planned out this whole thing and he knows where it's headed and stuff. And so that definitely gives me a lot of faith whenever I'm picking something up, when it feels like we're going somewhere instead of just like flying by the seat of your pants, you know?
Correct. That's fair. I mean, the first issue to me kind of seemed like they were really forcing the climate change stuff. And there's ways of going about that. I don't think they chose the right way. But when they try to force tropes and narratives and like political opinions and stuff like that, if it comes off forced, like it really slows down the comic. And I read the first of Eve and I couldn't get back in because of that kind of, like, they're really pushing the climate.
I was very hesitant. Yeah, I was very hesitant after the first one. I didn't like the way that it was kind of paced.
Okay.
But it also, like, it front loads like all the exposition. Like the second issue, there's like nothing new to necessarily learn. Like, you're just going out on this adventure with this girl. Like, her and the bear, it starts out from the top, like them getting out of there and like getting out into the world.
That seems like I should jump back on then. Okay, because I'd rather see that in the first issue, where you just have her and the bear, and then you learn more about it as the story develops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, that first issue, I was like, this isn't bad, but like, it's just weirdly paced because it's just like all this exposition being thrown at you. Like, you need to know about all these things, and I'm like, I don't know, but they do kind of defend it, because I don't remember if it was the first or second issue, but he talks about like how the bear like has all this knowledge that she needs. But he also talks about, like, if you just gave her all this information all of a sudden, like, she would not be able to, like, even handle everything.
Correct. Because she's a kid. So, like, she can't handle, like, you can't
so it kind of, like, helps
anybody
make
like
sense.
that.
Yeah, it kind of helps make sense story-wise why the bear is kind of, like, parsing out all this information to her over time, instead of, like, here's everything you need to know about the end of the world.
Yeah.
So it does work a lot better once you get to the second one, because they basically just front load all the exposition. And I want to say, my review of the first one, that's exactly what I said, is like, I hope the second issue is just like, let's get out of here and have an adventure, because it seems like the dynamic between her and the bear is going to be a lot of fun to just explore this world with. But that first one was just like so heavy loaded, you know?
Okay, I'll jump back on if that's your honest opinion of number 2. But I only read the first one and then I jumped off. Just because of that kind of political thing. A political book that was done well was Home. I'm not sure if you read Home.
I didn't like that one.
You didn't like it?
No, it was a little too sterile.
Ryan loves Home.
I found the dialogue was a little too sterile, and the artwork didn't quite work for me. Like, Home number 2, like number 1 and number 2, the end and the beginning where the guard's just like,
He can run
the
so
kid's so fast. Fastest kid alive.
Ryan went on an
Why is
epic
this even
rant.
in this book?
He went on an epic rant about that one scene. Not even didn't even talk about the rest of the book. That scene just caught him so off guard.
Well, it was weird because they ended the first book like that, and then they start the second book with more of that. And I was like, "What? Why?
Yeah,
Why
that
are we
was
leading into this?"
That was kind of a weird, just to show like that he's a superhero and he exhausts people with his stamina.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing for me, like personal perspective on it, like where they crossed at the Reynosa crossing right there and stuff.
Yeah, at the border.
Like that's where I was at whenever everything shut down last year. Like we had went to Mexico and we had crossed right there at that border crossing, and then we were coming back the day that like we didn't have any phone service when we were on the other side, right? And then we were coming back across the border like the evening of March 13th or whatever, and it was like so backed up and stuff, and we're like, what's going on? And then we crossed the border and we start getting phone service and all these messages, and people had been messaging us like all day, like, they're saying they're going to close down the border. Y'all going to make it back across in time and stuff. And we were like, come back across. And it's like, what is going on right now? We like turn on the news and they're like, it's all like chaos. And we went to Walmart right there in Brownsville and stuff. And it was just like, we were walking in the door and they're like, we're closing the store in 10 minutes. And we're like, holy crap, I don't even know what's going on. And we're like trying to get stuff and all the shelves are empty. Like, it was like 28 days later or something.
Geez,
we were just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you know where the story takes place because you
and like they go to like San Antonio and like all of that. Like that's all like where I live and travel and stuff. So for me, like a lot of the stuff they did in that book, it was just like this is kind of the more like media version of it, I guess.
That's fair. Yeah, they're trying to shine light on the specific issue, and they're kind of using vanilla language because they're tiptoeing around. Yeah. But
which I think is great for people that like aren't here, that don't see this like in firsthand, But
that's fair.
Yeah, like I've been in like the mall and stuff whenever like people get arrested for being illegal and stuff. So like I've seen all of that, and so for me it's like not really that revealing, but I think it's a good book for people that don't see that stuff firsthand because I think it is kind of like eye-opening for other people, It just didn't quite hit with me because of that.
What is upset? You're 28:15. I'm sorry, I'm in and out. My kids are stirring. They've been nap mode when we started this. But I heard my daughter had to run, go get her. And then, of course, she immediately starts climbing on the back of the couch and big front window to the house and everything. Like, I don't need you falling through that.
So what else are you two looking for tomorrow to pick up?
Tomorrow? The new issue of the Sumerian drops from Ablaze. I've been keeping up with their Conan series. They've been absolutely fun. What else comes out tomorrow?
6 Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton. Did you check that one out?
I know the premise, but the art just I couldn't get on board with the art at all. Like I pick indie books based off of story and art, and if one of them doesn't work for me, I'll buy the first one, I'll read it, and then I'll just jump to trade in case it takes off.
Chip Zdarsky, Your Shadow comes out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I'm definitely excited about that.
Yeah, that was my criticism of Trigger Keaton #1. Like, I don't necessarily hate the artwork, but there's nothing like comic booky enough about the story and stuff to justify how cartoony it looks. Like if there was something truly over the top about it, then it would make a little more sense that it's animated, because then you can get away with more and do like more weird stuff. But like it could have looked like real regular people and it would have worked just as well. There's nothing like super crazy about it, but overall it's pretty funny and it's fun, so.
Kyle, are you reading 7 Secrets?
Yes. Well, yes. I don't know where I'm at. I think I'm on 7.
2021. You're in 2021.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
I forget what issue.
It's hard when you're bouncing around all the time,
I know you travel often.
Who's president?
Issue 10 comes out tomorrow. So if you're on issue 7, you've just got past the big turn. The big
Yes,
reveal.
and it was really awesome. I think
Right?
they're on 10, right?
Yeah, they're on 10.
Yeah, I have it on my pull
All
list.
right.
Yep, I have 7
Yes,
Secrets
sir.
number 10.
1, 2, 3. What? Pow. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's
Bunny
fine.
Mask number
Welcome
2
to
is out
Legion
this
of
week as
Comics
well.
and Kids.
Yep.
Brian has yet to jump on board 7 Secrets or go back and don't necessarily have to jump on board, but go back and read like what's out yet. I've been pestering him about it, but he reads a ton of stuff, so I know how it goes. He tells me about some great reads that I haven't gotten around to yet as well. But man, that issue 6.
Yeah, you want to know why I stopped at 7? Because I thought that the series was done at 7. I figured 7 Secrets 7, and then it's like, no, we haven't even got into like what's in the briefcases. And
Dude, so last issue, without going into big spoilers, you read issue 6, so you know that the leader of the order dies when the case gets opened.
Correct.
Like, in glorious fashion, screaming the line that just I've got goosebumps thinking about what she said. Don't you remember what happened to Atlantis? And it just they open it, gone. So,
it was intense.
Yeah. So someone has to fill her role. And she's the only person that has knowledge of all 7 secrets.
Correct.
And so in issue 9, they appoint the next person to take on that role. And they go through, and that person has the burden. What you need? What? I don't speak French. What, this? Oh. So that person has the burden of knowing what's in each secret. So there's this heart-wrenching scene where they're all going into a room one at a time with that person in there and revealing what's in their cases. And you see her just breaking down in tears and in response saying, "I'm sorry you've had to carry this burden by yourself." Or you see him saying, "Never tell a soul. I know you're not supposed to, but never tell a soul what's in here." Then some secrets are too dangerous to open, so they just whisper it in their ears because they don't even want people that aren't around to not even hear it. And it was just such an intense scene going through that, man.
Yeah,
I do it no justice, I'm sure, but just wait till you get to issue 9.
The artwork in 7 Secrets is so built to be an anime. I cannot express how
Daniele is just a straight anime artist, pretty much. Daniele was on Power Rangers for a while and almost made me want to stop reading Power Rangers. It just didn't fit, but it fits this book perfectly.
It does, yes. I would love to see an adaptation of that. Well, if it was by Boom, then it would have already been optioned.
Like you said, I haven't read it, but what I can say about Daniele is I like his style. I like his character designs. The problem I had on Power Rangers, I don't know if it's on 7 Secrets, but he picks the absolute worst camera angles. They just make no sense sometimes.
He still does that.
Yeah, I just wish they would tell him hey, dude, this camera angle doesn't work for this shot.
It didn't work for Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It works for this.
7 Secrets is by Boom. How is it not optioned yet? It's
Tom
took off.
Knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, Tom Taylor is really crushing it. I'm really on board for this. I'll catch up. I'll read the 2 more issues and then pick up 10 tomorrow. There's 2 second prints that are coming out. Cherry Blackbird has its second print coming out tomorrow, and then Beck Star has its second print coming out tomorrow. So if you guys want to check those out, that's another 2 good books, completely different books.
So I'm super pumped, Paul, as well for Infinite Frontier number 2. I left the shop without having it. I assumed that it was in my pool box, and like I was telling Ryan earlier in the stream, a lot of times I don't add stuff to my pool just thinking I do because I sit here and talk about stuff so much on YouTube. But I'm definitely going to read it here in a little bit. Just read it digitally and grab my copy when I get back from vacation. That book that's one of the top books I'm hyped for at DC. There's so much happening with that Infinite Frontier book right now.
Yeah, there's so much happening.
The return of Rory Harper and that big twist that comes along with this guy, man. What a reveal, the way that they handled that in issue 1, with just the big fist coming out of the diner. I'm like, whoa, we have a giant in there now. I was expecting somebody who can grow to mass proportions. Flash by Night is in the building. What is happening, brother? How are you doing today? So I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to hang out on here. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes, and I got both the kids now standing on the couch.
Yeah, I got to leave in like 20 minutes, so anything less than that's fine.
I just added Infinite Frontier.
Say what?
I just added Infinite Frontier to my pull list.
Nice. Have you got a chance to catch up on the reading? There's only like 2 issues out, but the Infinite Frontier Zero, it introduces like kind of a teaser to everything that's going to be going on moving forward at DC at the time, but it does hit on the characters that are specific to the series with the same title as well. But that Secret Files and Origins was fantastic.
Yeah, and then I'm also looking forward to the Secret Files. I haven't picked up the Secret Files for the Signal. I think there's Signal, Huntress, and Clown Hunter for Secret Files coming out.
Yeah, but those aren't tied into Infinite Frontier. That's just, they've been doing Secret Files and Origins forever. It's just another way to say annual without it being an annual.
Fair enough, yeah. Okay.
But the Infinite Frontier Secret Files is absolutely germane to the story. You need it. You need it. I hope I use that word right. I heard it, I think yesterday. I'm like, I want to use the word germane in a sentence tomorrow.
Not familiar with it.
I don't know the name. What's the definition of germane? I thought it was just a name.
No, you should Google it because I don't know it either. I just heard it. I'm like, I'm going to try to use that tomorrow.
Germane.
Neither of y'all read
it's already past, hold on real quick. It's already past that point, Flash. It's the return of the Psycho Pirate. And that we're weeks past that, with the Secret Files coming out, with issue 1 coming out. But we already know that Darkseid is making his most epic return ever with this new final form Darkseid almost. But Psycho Pirate's back, and dude, that interaction that you get with the 2 villains in the Secret Files was, oh my god. That panel work, it just pulls you into that moment. I'm like, whoa, okay. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I've only read the first story and the last story.
That last story was beast, wasn't it?
Yeah, that Psycho Pirate story was crazy.
Yes.
What were you asking? What we read, Ryan?
Oh, Bunny Mask. Did you read that one?
Bunny Mask was really cool. I think people are really hyping Bunny Mask. I thought it was cool. I'm excited to see where it goes, I guess, because she grows up and is has this art studio, and it's just all of these bunny things on the wall, and
it's so weird how that part plays out, because it almost gives you the impression she's closed off that traumatic memory, she doesn't know anything, and then
she seems happy
reveals
and ignorant.
And then all of a sudden it just turns, and you're like, whoa, wait, what?
meet me in the alley at 9. I got a secret.
And she gives him what is it, a $20 bill?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm just so distracted. It's what is going on right now?
Everybody's description of Bunny Mask, you can tell when people don't read books, they'll be the only thing they want to talk about is did you see that first page? Oh man. I'm okay, yeah, but what about the second page where they're in the cave? And
man, that story got so crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited for the second
finds
one.
that cavern and stuff, and she just hello?
Yeah.
What? What is this? Yeah, I was I don't know, cool. I was kind of borderline about it, but then somebody told me it was only 3 issues, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely in for 3 issues. If it was much longer than that, I don't know if I would probably wait for a trade or something, but just 3 issues, I think that is definitely worth it. I'm interested to see what they do with just 3 issues.
Hopefully it's great storytelling, because the first one has a lot of people hooked. I'm showing previews has a Bunny Mask 4, September 22nd.
I guess we'll see if they can hook me through the first 3 then.
Yeah, I got the first 2 come out, or the second one comes out tomorrow, and then August 11th, and then September 22nd, Bunny Mask 4.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, if they can hook me with the 3, I'll pick up the 4th one, but I'm more interested in it just being a quick little here's some weird stuff, and then like get out, you know.
Exactly. And everybody has their ways that they read, and you have to, especially with indie books. Like you can get into like these ongoing series where you like don't care what's going on. And that's what a lot of people, bringing it back to Seven Secrets, a lot of people jumped off Seven Secrets at like issue 4, and they're like, this is garbage. And then 2 issues later, you're just like, whoa, wait a second. This is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
I'm invested. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
To shout out Cup of Comics again this morning, his video, he was doing FOCs, and that's one of them. He's like, Seven Secrets, like this series like turned on a dime and just became even better, and now people are like really getting hype around it. So
yeah. And then there's some series that I just collect art from, like Witchblood. Witchblood has a C cover by a guy named Yoshitani, and it's a amazing spread. Like it's a let me see, I still have the Word document up. Maybe I could share this. How do I?
I'll permit it.
Cool. Share screen.
What we're here, I would say not the annual that comes out this week, but probably the following issue would be the start of a new story arc. So if you want to jump on Flash, just jump on there. I guess that'd be 772 or 773, something like that.
yes,
This is
773, I think.
issue today/tomorrow. The 24 hours known as Tuesday and Wednesday is the finale to the story arc called The Surge.
So it's going to be a 10 issue spread of connecting covers. I'm not sure if you're showing it right now, so I can't see anything.
No,
But this thing is
he
absolutely
just walked
fantastic.
off.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to hit a OK to share button.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll wait for a second. But it's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal.
I'm here.
All right,
there he
go
is.
for it. Tell me when you could see it, and I'll walk you through it.
You can see it.
All right, so there's 5 across the top, and then the next issue comes out right there, and we have 4 more. So it's going to be a 10 issue connecting cover, and it looks phenomenal. It just has all the characters throughout, and this is just all the C covers. And you just go pick them up, and they line up. They look amazing together. And the one on the far right is the one that comes out next, and then the one at the bottom is the issue, the next issue. All right, so you can. How do I do that? Stop sharing.
I'm still looking at it.
But yeah, I picked that up because of the art. Once I heard a 10 issue connecting cover, I was like, I'm on board. That's going to look awesome on the wall.
Ooh.
Finn keeps getting lightning figures every time we go to the store now.
Well, at least he likes cool stuff.
Yeah. He likes them long enough to unbox, and he's like, all right, next one.
And then I'm looking forward to Mother of Madness. I think that's going to be kind of cool.
What
that's
is that?
the next. So it's the girl that played Daenerys Targaryen in what's her name? She's writing her own comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
It's
was in
called Mother
Solo.
of Madness. Yeah, and I hope that she does good. It has a lot of hype. I got my comic shop to get me a poster for it.
She's all like,
I
if
hope
it's
she
not
does
like you can do it,
well.
you can do it.
She's kind of paired with the writer I don't really care for, so we'll see how
Okay.
that turns out.
Who's she paired with?
Margaret Bennett.
I'm not familiar.
She did Power Rangers Beyond the Grid. She's famous for Animosity.
I'm not familiar with either of those.
Beyond the Grid is fantastic.
I like the concepts she writes. I don't care for her details. That's where she usually loses me. But I like her concepts. She has great like high concepts. It's just like once she gets into like, you know, like her outlining stuff is probably amazing. I totally understand how she sells her pitches. But I feel like once she really gets into the nitty-gritty of the writing, like she kind of loses me on dialogue and some of the details and stuff.
What else?
Outside of the Shattered Grid story, Beyond the Grid is by far my favorite Ranger story arc that's been written for Boom.
I love the concepts in it.
Yeah.
And especially like the back end of that run was really good. It's just like those first 3-4 issues, a little rough there.
Yeah.
Felt like that creative team was still finding their groove.
Yeah,
But
I think
I still
also-
love it. I have the hardcover, so
Yeah, this
that must
far-
mean something.
This far past the story, I think all I really remember are the concepts from it. You know what I mean? Like my memory only holds on to the Cliff Notes.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people like her writing. Animosity, people talk about that book all the time. It's that one with like animals in a post-apocalypse.
Animosity.
She wrote like some Batman and some Batgirl and a couple of other things. Like she's been around for a while. She's written quite a few different things. She wrote Bad Idea just came out with a book by her this week, in fact. That one where it's like the Hollywood they're like filming a horror movie or something and then things get weird.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but
I forgot the name of that one.
A lot of people really like her writing, so you know, maybe she'll do well on this Mother of Madness working with Amelia Clark, but she just never has really hooked me with any of the stuff I have read from her as far as like I said, the details. I like her concepts though.
Gotcha. I have some more indies I could shout out, but might as well save it for next week because they come out in July, end of July, July 28th.
The only other one I'm waiting on tomorrow is Everfrost 2, but I've actually already read that one.
Okay, yeah. Didn't you guys do an interview with
Well, we didn't. Whack Comics, Lee and Tyler, they interviewed him.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Everfrost 2, like, if you like the first one, then I think the second one kind of continues that. It's not quite as good as the first issue, but, like, it's still in that same vein. And so if you like the first one, you'll probably still like it. If you felt lost on that first one, then you probably won't feel any better.
I was kind of lost. I can tell you a couple books that I felt lost in. Parasomnia.
Yeah, just like a real, like, deep sci-fi book with, like, fantasy-style delivery, and so it, you know, it's one of those books, like, you really have to be into that genre and that style and really be looking into it like that, you know? So
correct.
I understand a lot of people felt lost, and I won't say I wasn't completely lost, but yeah, there was some stuff that gets explained a little better farther down the line.
Okay, that's fair. I feel like I just, like, left everybody hanging there. There's 3 books that I was looking forward to coming out in the future. I'll just tell you rather than have you wait. The Last Book You'll Ever Read by Cullen Bunn. That comes out July 28th. I think that's going to be awesome. Oh, you actually read it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. What'd you think? Or is it?
He hasn't read anything since.
Yeah, kind of an odd title. It was cool though. It's a really cool concept. It's, I don't know, like it's Cullen Bunn, so like it's good, but it's not like the most mind-blowing thing ever. But
that's fair. He has his niche of horror, and
yeah, I mean, like Cullen Bunn's one of my favorite writers because like I can't think of a book I've read by him that like blew my mind.
Yeah,
but like I don't think I've ever read a book by him that I thought was less than like a 7. You know, like he's extremely consistent in his delivery.
Yes, he's consistently good at writing horror books, and you know what you're getting once you see his title, and you get to read a cool story. And what's wrong with that?
Yeah, he has a Patreon and a Discord actually. But if you're a Patreon member, what he started doing with that book and another book that's coming out down the line, he gives out the first issue, and he gives you also like little promo images for all the different social media networks. So like if you're a Patreon member, you get to read it early and you can help him promote it and get it out there and stuff.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info. I'm gonna jump on that. If I don't have to wait 2 weeks to read this book, I can just go pay.
I paid for like a year of his Patreon. It was like $51. I was like totally worth it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
He's also doing this thing where, I know we're getting a little long in the tooth here, but he's also doing this thing where he's building a book from the ground up on Patreon. So like from the very beginning stages, like all the way up, and he's just like showing you his process for developing a book, even all the way up to pitching it. Like he's even going to show like the pitching stuff and all of that, and
just kind of walk you through the process.
Published. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
So if you're writing a comic, it'd probably be a good place to learn how that's handled.
Yeah, I've been what's it, Dink Comics. I've been watching his stuff. He has some cool, helpful videos about how to make a comic, how to talk to your artist and relay that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's another cool channel. I think he jumps on here too and like says hi every now and again.
I was gonna say I recognize the name, but I'm not totally sure.
He's a cool guy. And okay, so I have 2 more books that I'm excited for, and you could tell me that you've read them. The Not All Robots. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Okay, so Not All Robots is gonna be like this. Have you played the game Detroit? The video game Detroit?
No, but I remember when it came out.
Okay,
People talking
so
about it.
it's basically every household gets assigned an android, and they can't live without that android. And then the androids start doing some like sketchy things, and like one's like working in like a workshop all hours, and it seems like it's going to be kind of cool. So that's not all robots. Is the other one that I'm looking forward to.
That's cool.
And then let me see if I can find the final one. Not All Robots. Hold on. Let me get a date for that. Not All Robots comes out August 4th. And it's by Mark Russell and Mike Diodato.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's going to be beautiful artwork then.
Yeah, the covers alone are really cool. You know that old painting where you have the two farmers standing with the pitchfork?
Oh, yeah.
They homage that, but with robots. And
Oh, nice.
it looks really cool.
That's always a well-homaged painting.
Yeah, and I was just on board. I saw that, and I was just on board. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm into it.
Matt Garvey, I've heard his name too.
What's the last one that I was into? Oh, there's one called These Damn Kids. If you've had enough children books, you have These Damn Children.
Damn Cursed Children.
Damned Cursed Children. Yeah, that's what it was. And then
I didn't read that one, but I've heard really good things about it.
I just picked up
Russell
Russell Run.
That's Second or Scout or
I thought it was Source Point Press.
yeah, this one.
Yeah.
This literally showed up at my house, and I still have it sitting here because I have no clue who sent it or how they got my address.
Oh, that's right. That is the one you got. Yeah.
Yeah. I refuse to read it. I don't know, like, what's the deal with it?
It's going to be like, what is it, The Ring?
Yeah.
Like you read it and then just like you die.
Like 7 days. And in the meantime, I can't even take photos. No way. No way.
Oh, man. It's a 5-issue series, by the way. They're all out, and you just have number 1 right there. Yeah, These Damn Kids, Second Sight Publishing, September 29th. They're hyping that one up pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot.
Second Sight has really been snowballing.
I know, yeah.
I remember when they like had one book, right? And now they're coming out with like 2 and 4 a week and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they have 3 imprints. They have Freedom Verse, which is their superhero one, Second Verse, which is their fantasy sci-fi one, and then Second Sight Presents is their horror imprint. So once you see those 3 things, you can pick out what Second Sight book it is. You'll know, is it fantasy, is it horror, or is it like superhero
cool.
kind of aspect. And they just give shots to random writers. Like they're submission only company.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they're
that's awesome.
Slanging out books. They're throwing darts at a wall, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them do
that's kind
hit.
of what it seems like.
Yeah, some of them do hit, but a lot of them are like, man, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's cool though. At least they're like helping people get out there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it that I have for at least indies that I'm looking forward to.
Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah.
Maybe the publisher sent it to you. Yeah, but how'd they get my address? That's the thing. Like,
That's the creepy part.
Public. Like if it was somebody in the community who's mailed me something, like, you know, I expect Ryan to be able to mail me something without asking. Like I can mail him something without asking if I want it to be a secret, you know, but I'd still have to take the time to scroll through old messages and all that, you know. We'll go hang it back up. It's just weird that it showed up and it didn't have a proper return on it. So
yeah,
into that.
Kind of strange.
And it had cursed in the title, so obviously something's wrong.
Oh, damn.
One more. Sorry, one more. Unborn. That's another one that looks really cool. It's basically it's like Aliens meet Power Rangers. That comes out at the end of September, but I'm talking way in the future. Unborn.
Oh yeah,
Frank Gogol. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
he's been
to that
talking
as
about
well.
it in his newsletter for a while. I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, I was just in for the premise.
Yeah, because he talked about it like whenever he just like kind of came up with it at a con or whatever. He's like, yeah, his thought was like, what if like aliens basically invaded the Megazord, and so it was like this weird kind of like aliens moving through the Megazord, and the
Yep.
Rangers are trying to have to fight for their lives and stuff. I was like, that sounds awesome.
Yep, that's what I was saying. It's aliens meet Power Rangers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, I'm on board. Sign me up.
Yeah. Like what was it, Lost Galaxy, where they had like the Lost in Space looking Megazord ship thing?
Yeah.
Like put some aliens in there, that'd be amazing.
Yep.
Was that Lost Galaxy or In Space?
I think it's Lost Galaxy.
Yeah, this is Lost Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
Dude, these things are super cool. The head sculpts or the plastic that they make the heads out of suck. Like, Finn's got a handful of these now, and like the head plastic sucks so bad it doesn't match the body like at all.
Yeah, that
Huh.
sucks.
Yeah, it stands out. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this on here, but I'm going to give it a shot because I noticed this when I was at the store picking it up. So you have the figure in the window box and everything. You have the figure. Let me see. You see his face there. Catch it. I'm not going to get him to catch it, but if you look at the box. Come on. Dude's rocking it. He's got a Hitler mustache.
I see it on the box. Yeah.
Wow.
That's not drawn on the box. That's off the print. So somebody's got jokes.
Wow.
That's good. Have you been? Did you read Seven Swords?
I read the first one.
Okay. I was told that the characters are just being like thrown at the audience, where it's like, oh, and by the way, here's our next swashbuckler, and they just kind of toss him.
It's kind of rooted in Three Musketeers, apparently.
Yeah.
And like I've never read any of that. I've never watched it. Like I have no knowledge of that lore and stuff. And so for me, that's exactly what it was. It's just like, here's a bunch of names you can't pronounce and a bunch of characters attached to those names, and like I was just like, yeah, I'm done with this series. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that. Because
like I
it's
was
just-
interested in it whenever I saw it on the list, and I'd even talked about it in a video. But then once the number one came out and I read it, I was like, it didn't really connect with me.
Yeah, based on the premise, I thought that we were going to see 7 of the greatest swordsmen fighting it out for like some kind of treasure. I thought that would have been the concept that they went with.
I actually thought it was going to be like Seven Samurai or the Western version of that. I can never remember the name of it. Magnificent Seven.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of
Magnificent
those, but like with different sword fighting styles from across the eras or something. But
that was with
it don't
Chris
even seem
Pratt,
like it's
right?
that. Yeah, the remake had Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, it was a remake?
Yeah, that was a remake.
Marvelous 7, right? Magnificent 7? No.
Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent 7. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a 60s, 70s Western movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't know that. Just like they remade, what was it, like Train to Busan, or what was that other train one?
No, you're thinking of 310 to Yuma.
Yeah, and
That was a great remake too.
Yeah, it was.
Real quick, my wife just walked in the door and immediately handed me books. I wasn't able to hit my honey hole today. I wanted to. It was the last day before vacation, but my dad went and he hit me up. He's like, "Are you missing any of these issues?" And he picked them up for me while he was there. I got that Mr. Miracle issue number 17.
nice.
Some Shiloh Norman there, current Mr. Miracle.
Bondage covers.
Mr. Miracle number 13, and New Gods issue number 5.
Ooh, fancy.
There's a couple of missing issues there. Fantastic. And I don't know if y'all can see these prices, but when I say honey hole, I mean honey hole.
Yeah,
$3. Jeez.
nice.
That's one of my favorite shops to have here in town. And even a New Gods number 5, it's not $3, but still it's
$10. That's not bad.
Yeah, 10 isn't bad.
$10. If you go to any con or anything, you're looking at like $30-$40 for mid-grade copies of this stuff just because it's DC Kirby
Yeah.
from the 70s,
Well, I need to get out of here. So
Yeah, no
whatever you
problem.
wanna
We can
do.
end it.
Well, just remember, everybody, you heard it from Jack Kirby himself. Get out there, read Spawn. You're doing good things in that series right now. It's super fun. Kyle, dude, I'm so thankful that you hopped on with us today. What do you got there? A bunch of blanks?
Ooh.
I got a bunch of Star Wars blanks. I hit up a guy. He said $5 a blank, and I was like, "Give me all the Star Wars ones that you have." So I got Poe Dameron. I got Princess Leia. I got Shattered Empire. I got Chewbacca. I got Lando. I got Obi-Wan and Anakin. I got C-3PO. And then just an OP Star Wars one.
What are your plans with those, real quick?
Go to a con and spend a lot of money having people sketch stuff up.
I think Mark has a hashtag for that.
Yeah, there's some fantastic community people that do they're fantastic artists. If you don't want to spend a lot of money and still get amazing one-of-a-kind pieces.
I'm on board.
And there might be somebody who you might actually have to spend a little bit of money to get it done, or either make trade. He's big on trades. There's a guy with a specific hashtag attached to his artwork. I mean, he's really fantastic. I own one of his pieces. I fell asleep. I stayed up for like 30-something hours the other day and tried to stay awake through an auction because he's going to put a piece up for the first time.
Yeah.
I fell asleep between 5 and 10 minutes before it went up.
Oh, no.
Jackass Tyler from Whack Comics won it for $250. That was all. Which, I mean, that's still impressive. The guy sold his book for that, being that he's just a dude doing his own art. But it's well worth that. I mean, if he continues to do this stuff, I mean, my God, the potential.
He gets better each time.
Yeah,
not that he's done a bad one yet, but every one just keeps on getting better.
The next one he's looking at moving or finding its way out to a new home is going to be the Geiger one. And my God, I'm all in on that one. It's like a simplistic a skeleton with his mouth open and bombs falling, but it has very minimal green on the cover too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I need that.
It's fire.
I need it. But anyways, I don't want to keep Ryan forever. Wife's home now. We're about to start figuring out dinner.
Cool.
Again, thank you so much for hopping on, man. This is awesome. This is twice now.
Yeah.
No. And you handled it like a pro after I browned out the other day.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to make an enemy or make a friend, and I chose the friend route. I could have sat there for 20 minutes just talking about like my life.
That wouldn't have bothered me. It's a community hangout. You're part of the community. That wouldn't have been more appropriate place to do it. That would have been it. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you hopping on. As always, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone that was hanging out in the chat with us today. Be sure to go subscribe to the Cosmic Campfire. Check out the Promiscuous Time Traveler. He's got an interview with a rock that's about to drop.
Yeah, I'm doing it tomorrow.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure you send the link out to that to a lot of people, because I've tried to search your channel, just typing it in the search.
I can't even find it. No, I don't exist in this time era.
Yeah. Pretty much impossible.
You got to set your search filters for time, 5 years.
I'm dead serious. Like, type my name into YouTube, you won't even find me. It doesn't even. Yeah, you have to have like a special access.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, so you're gonna have to send links out to that, and if you send links out to it, I'll send links out to it. I'm in a bunch of groups with numerous people that would love to check that out, I'm sure. So, all right, guys. As always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.